Check this out. It's my first cook set ever. I'm just getting ready for a trip to go camping and going through stock of what I have, and I came across this. I wanted to show it to you guys. I got this when I was hiking with the Sierra Club, and we were doing a lot of snow camping at the time, so I had to get a liquid fuel stove, which is what this is over here. It's got, this one's from Primus. It can do multiple fuels, even gasoline. Just in case you're at a place where white fuel is not available. Normally they use white fuel. You stick in a bottle like this. You get from the camp store. It burns really clean. It's got, what are these? Heat shields inside, some tools for servicing it. That's all in there. It's a pretty heavy package. But the reason why people use liquid fuel stoves is because in times where you're in high elevation or it's really cold outside, the canister stoves, the normal canister stoves with the compressed gas, those don't work so well. I'll show you that in a minute. But this is the liquid fuel stove. I have this camp set here, titanium pots and pans. It's like a little bowl, like 2 pots. This can be either used as a lid or as a pan. It's kind of cool. But, I never really found it all that useful. Except, you need something to cook your stuff in. But, it's not like I'm cooking three things at the same time. But I have that. And my water bottle, just a regular Nalgene bottle I got from REI. Had this for a while, if you can tell. But that's it. That's what I used to use. Super heavy. This whole combination of stuff over here. So later, I switched out this stove. And I ended up getting one of these. This is a canister stove. It screws on to the top of a canister. You can tell it's really small. It just opens up like this. I don't have one of those canisters with me right now, but if I did, I would show it to you, and I'd show you that one thing I don't like about it is it's hard to tell how much fuel's inside. If I have a bottle like this, I can tell by looking inside or just by feeling it. I can feel it gets cold right about there. That's about that much full. And I can just verify by shaking it. It's about full up to there. So I know how much fuel's inside just by touching it. With the compressed fuel, you can't really tell. The only way you can tell is by weighing it. You have to weigh them when they're brand new, and then you could weigh them again if you want when they're used. But if you weigh them when you're brand new and just do the subtraction, you can tell how much fuel you've used. If for instance, it's let's say it's 200 grams when it's brand new, and then you weigh it after you've used a little bit, and now it's at 150 grams. Now you know that you've used 50 grams of fuel. So that's the only way you can tell with that. But anyways, that's what this goes. It's a much smaller package than this old liquid fuel stove. But again, not as useful in high altitudes or when it's really cold. But this is a really cool upgrade. The next thing I upgraded was I was watching Man vs. Wild, and I saw Bear Grylls using one of these deals over here. And what this is a water bottle with a metal cup inside that you can use for cooking. So with this package, I got rid of these two over here. And this is what I started using. Later on, I went to an RV surplus store and I found one of these, just a cover for it. And I use it just for fun. I ordered it because I saw it on the TV show, but eventually, when I got it, I realized it's actually pretty heavy. This thing is made out of steel, so it's strong, but useful. And this thing is plastic, but it's pretty thick. It's really sturdy, thick plastic, and it's heavy. It only holds about 1 liter of water. All right, but you can see right there. This one's made by Osprey, and this is the one that's actually issued to the British Army. Same design. So I thought it was cool, just kind of fun. Used what I saw on TV. But eventually, I thought that this was too heavy, and I got rid of both of these two things. Now, this is what I use as my cook set. For boiling water, I use this pot, and I like this pot. Oh, let me just take everything out inside. I like this pot because it's way bigger. It's bigger than that water cup that I showed you before. Look at that. This one actually fits inside. See, it fits inside of the big pot. So it gives you a lot of extra water that you can boil. It's also really light because it's made out of aluminum. I think I got it for maybe $10 or $20 at REI. And it's got a lid. The lid was really important, and I'll tell you why in a second. For my water, I just use I use either one of these, just like one of these. I don't remember what these things are called, platypus or some kind of water bladder. You can fill it up with water, and as you use it, it gets smaller and smaller. You can just kind of fold it up. But to tell you the truth, I don't actually use this. Most of the time when I go out camping, I stop by the gas station on the way, and I buy one of those like 1.5 liter, just water bottles, like Arrowhead water bottles, and I just stick on a little water filter to the top of it, like this, one of these things over here. But you know, in a pinch, I could use one of these too. I just have them in my pack, just to carry extra water if I want to. But if I don't use it, it just takes up hardly any space at all. This is my camp stove now. It's a campfire permit. This is a permit for backcountry campfires. Instead of using an actual stove that I bring in with me, most of the time, if I can, anytime it's allowed, I end up using just building a fire and just using that and just holding this on top of the fire. It just saves a little weight because I don't have to carry any fuel. I don't have to carry any stove. I just make the campfire there with whatever wood is there, and I cook on that. But when you're doing that, sometimes it can get pretty hot, which is why it's important to have one of these, a pot holder. This I had to buy separately. And you notice, even if I look back at some of my older things, they had these little handles like this one over here. These had a handle like that over here. And these are nice and they're generally okay, but in a campfire, I'll tell you, it gets so hot that these things, you can't touch them. You almost need gloves to touch them. With this, I don't actually put this in the fire. I keep my pot in the fire, and when I need to grab my pot, then I go in with the pot holder, the outside pot holder, and I grab the pot like that. Alright, so that's what I got this for. And I really much prefer that to the older systems where everything's attached and it's sitting in the fire, because that's almost useless to me. Then the second thing I needed was the top, and this came with the top. But the reason why the top is so important is because if I'm boiling water or I'm cooking things on a campfire on real wood, a lot of ash is going to go up into the air and fall into the cup here, and that's what was happening with me. I was getting a lot of ash in the cup. So now that I have this lid, I no longer have that problem. All right, but that's my entire cook set for cooking my food, for storing the water, and for cooking the food, storing the water, and and heating it up and making fire. This is the new set compared to this as the old set. So a lot lighter now. Last thing I want to show you. Utensils. What do I use for utensils? Nothing fancy. This is a plastic spoon I just grabbed from my closet. Normally I just get any plastic spoon where I can get it from. If I forgot to bring one on the way, I might just stop by McDonald's or Carl's Jr. or something and get one on the way. I did use a plastic spoon that I really liked, a plastic spork from Light My Fire. It was like a fork on one side and a spoon on the other. I really liked that one just because it was kind of fun, novel thing. And I used it until the tine broke. But I was at the store the other day and I saw the titanium version of the same thing. I ended up deciding to splurge and I got that one. And I really just got this one just for fun. It's a lot heavier than the plastic spoon. If I really cared about weight, the few extra grams it's going to take, I would much rather take the plastic spoon because it's lighter. In fact, this is a really sturdy plastic spoon from my closet, but I'm sure if I got one at McDonald's, it would be way less weight than this. Another option I sometimes use is I just get those disposable chopsticks, especially if I'm going to eat ramen. But there you go. That's what I cook with.